I'm 59 years old, and I'm about to tell you something it took me nearly 6 decades to understand.
You can spend your entire life chasing success and completely miss the point of living.
My name doesn't matter. What matters is that I'm a software engineer who spent 35 years building systems, optimizing code, and believing that life could be controlled like a well-written algorithm. I've traveled to 17 countries, always for work. I've led projects with hundreds of employees. I made good money, bought a nice house, drove a reliable car. On paper, I did everything right. But I got married at 53, which should have been the first sign that something was wrong with the way I'd been living. Her name was Sarah. She was 33, a graphic designer with a laugh that made you feel the world wasn't as serious as you thought. She had a hummingbird tattoo on her wrist, something she'd drawn impulsively in college, she told me, when she still believed in doing things just because they made her happy. Have you ever done something just because you wanted to? She asked me once early on when I was explaining my 5-year financial plan over dinner. I remember pausing, fork halfway to my mouth. Done something just because I wanted to? Just because. No reason, no plan, just because you wanted to. I laughed. I actually laughed. That's not how you build a life, Sarah. We got married after 6 months. I was 53, and I thought I'd finally figured it out. Establish your career first, then find someone to share the success with. Logical, efficient. Our son was born when I was 55. I remember standing in the hospital room, holding this impossibly tiny person and feeling something I'd never felt before, impossible to describe. I whispered to Sarah, "I'll be a good father, I promise." She was exhausted, hair stuck to her forehead with sweat, but she smiled at me. "I know you will." I meant it when I said that. I really did. But within 3 months, I was back to 70-hour work weeks. Within 6 months, I'd missed his first attempts to roll over because I was on a conference call. Within a year, I'd missed his first steps because I was on a business trip in Seattle. "You missed it," Sarah said when I got home, and there was something flat in her voice that should have alarmed me. That should have been a warning, but I was too busy to hear warnings. The problem with slow decay is you don't realize it's happening. Like those time-lapse videos of rotting fruit frame by frame, nothing's wrong. But when you speed it up, you see the decomposition was happening all along. My son's name is Michael. He's 6 now, and I can count on one hand the full dinners I've eaten with him. There was one evening, Michael must have been 4, when he came into my home office. I was deep in debugging a critical system failure. The kind of thing that could cost the company hundreds of thousands if I didn't fix it quickly. The boy walked up to my chair and just stood there. "Not now, buddy," I said. Eyes on the screen. He didn't leave. "Michael, Dad's working. Go find Mom. Mom's making dinner." His voice was so small. "Then go play. Dad will be done soon." "You said that yesterday." I stopped typing. Something in his tone, not accusatory, not angry, just factual, like he was making an observation about the weather. "Dad was done yesterday," I said. "At bedtime, after I was asleep." I remember looking at him then, really looking. He was wearing his dinosaur pajamas, the blue ones with the T-Rex on the front. His hair was messy, sticking up in the back the way it always did after a bath. He was holding a book, something about a bear, I think. The night Sarah left, I came home and found her suitcase by the door. Not being packed, already packed, past tense, done. "What's this?" I asked, though obviously I knew what a suitcase meant. She was sitting on the couch, hands folded in her lap, and she had a look on her face I'd never seen before. Not angry, not sad, Something worse, resignation. I'm taking Michael to stay with my sister for a while. What? Why? What happened? Nothing happened. That's the problem. We don't need a provider. Her voice broke, finally showing emotion. We need you yourself, not the version that sits at the dinner table staring at your phone. Not the version that says, when Michael tells you about his day without hearing a single word. Not the version that schedules time with your son like he's a client meeting. I'm doing this for you, for him, so our family can have a good life. She stood up, tears starting to fall. Those words hit me like a punch. I opened my mouth. Nothing came out. She picked up her bag. I should have stopped her. I should have said something meaningful. I should have gotten on my knees and begged and promised to change. Instead, I said, "You'll regret this." She stopped at the door, hand on the knob. Without turning around, she said, "I already do. I regret waiting this long." The door closed. I stood there in the hallway, looking at the empty space where my family used to be, and I felt nothing. Not yet. The emptiness came first. The pain came later. I told myself she'd come back. I told myself she was being overdramatic. I told myself when she calmed down, she'd see reason. I threw myself into work even harder. If I couldn't fix my marriage, at least I could fix code. Then my body intervened. It was a Tuesday afternoon. I was in a meeting about cloud migration strategy when I felt this pressure in my chest, like someone was standing on my rib cage. I tried to ignore it, but the room started tilting. "Are you okay?" someone asked. "Fine," I said, but I wasn't fine. They called an ambulance. At the hospital, the doctor, a woman about my age with kind eyes, sat down by my bed and said, "You've experienced what we call a cardiac event. Not a full heart attack, but a warning. Your heart is telling you it can't keep up with the way you're living." "I'll take medication," I said. "You need lifestyle changes, less stress, more rest, better habits. I'll cut back on work." She looked at me with something like sadness. "Mr. Harrison, I say this to a lot of men your age, and most of them don't listen. Your heart doesn't care about your deadlines. You could be the most successful dead man in the cemetery." I didn't listen. Not really. 3 weeks later, my company announced layoffs. Major restructuring. I wasn't fired. I was too valuable, they said. But my department was gutted. The team I'd built, most of them were let go. Then my car was stolen from the street. Gone one morning. The police said they'd investigate, but their tone said, "Don't hold your breath." Then the stock market crashed. Well, not crashed, corrected, the news said. But my retirement portfolio, which I'd watched grow for decades, shrank 40% in 2 weeks. I remember sitting in my home office looking at the red numbers on the screen and thinking, this is a test. This is just a rough patch. This is temporary. But that night, I walked through my house and it felt like a museum. Every room perfectly arranged, perfectly clean, perfectly empty. The kitchen, where Sarah used to make pasta on Sunday nights, filling the house with the smell of garlic and tomatoes. The living room where Michael used to build block towers to his waist. The bathroom where I'd hear them laughing during bath time, splashing water and singing silly songs. All empty, all silent. It didn't hit me gently. Not gradually, like a truck. I'm 59 years old, and I don't know who my son is. Not really. I don't know his favorite color. I don't know what he's afraid of. I don't know what makes him laugh or what he dreams about or what he wants to be when he grows up. I'm his father, and he's a stranger to me. Because the worst part wasn't Sarah leaving. The worst part wasn't losing money or the car or job security. The worst part was understanding that my son is 6 years old and I missed it. All of it. The important parts, the parts you can't get back. I was too busy building a life that I forgot to live it. After that night, something in me broke, I guess. Or maybe it finally opened up. I don't know which. I started seeing a therapist. Her name was Dr. Emma, and in the first session, she asked me, "What do you want?" "I want my family back." "Why?" The question caught me off guard. "Because they're my family." "But why do you want them back? What do you want to have with them?" I opened my mouth, closed it. I genuinely didn't know how to answer. "Most people, doctor," Emma said gently, "can tell me about wanting to share meals together, hear about each other's days, inside jokes, comfort, presence. Can you describe what you miss about being with them?" I tried. I really tried. But all I could think of was abstractions. I miss having a family. I miss not being alone. Do you miss Sarah? Or do you miss the idea of having a wife? The question was like a scalpel. "I don't know," I whispered. "That's honest," she said. "That's a start." I started trying to see Michael on the psychologist's advice. Sarah was initially hesitant, and I don't blame her. "I want to spend time with him," I told her over the phone. "Supervised visit," she said, "at my sister's house. I'm his father." "Then act like it." The first visit was awkward. Michael was shy with me, uncertain. We sat in his aunt's living room, and I didn't know what to say. And Sarah was cold, uncommunicative. I can't tell you there's a happy ending to this story because I don't know the ending. I'm living it. Sarah and I are separated, not divorced. She says she needs time to see if the changes I'm making are real or just another performance. And I understand that. I do. Because the truth is, I'm still figuring out how to be present. Some days are better than others. Some days I catch myself with my hand on my phone at dinner and I have to consciously put it down. Some days I'm at work and realize I've been there 10 hours and haven't thought about Michael once, and the guilt nearly crushes me. Change isn't a switch you flip, it's a practice, a daily decision. I'm 59 years old, and I'm starting to live my life very, very late. Some nights I lie awake and think about everything I missed. Michael's first words, his first day of school, years of bedtimes and breakfasts and moments that seemed small but were actually everything. I can't get those back. That's something I have to live with. But I have now. I have this moment, and the next one, and the one after that. I still work, but I work differently. I leave at 5. I turn off my phone after dinner. I turned down a promotion last month because it would have meant more travel, and I'm not missing any more of Michael's life. Some of my colleagues think I've lost my edge. Maybe I have, but I'd rather be a mediocre engineer who knows his son than an excellent one who doesn't. The other day, Michael asked me to read him that book about the bear. Turns out it's called Blueberry Bear Goes to School. I've read it to him 5 times now. I know it by heart. I still don't know if Sarah will come back. Part of me hopes she will. Part of me knows I need to focus on being a good father regardless of whether I get to be a husband again. She told me recently, "I don't know if we can fix this, but I'm glad you're trying. Michael needs you to keep trying." "I will," I said. "I promise." "Don't promise," she said, not unkindly. "Just show up." So that's what I do. I show up. If you're reading this and you're busy, if you're telling yourself you'll spend time with family when the project is done, when you get promoted, when things settle down, I want you to know something. Things never settle down. There's always another project, another deadline, another crisis. And your children don't stay children forever. Your spouse doesn't wait forever. Life doesn't pause while you're busy planning it. I used to think success meant building something impressive. Now I know it means being present for the people who need you. I used to think providing was the same as loving. Now I know love requires presence, not gifts. I used to think I had time. Now I know time is happening constantly, whether I'm paying attention or not. I'm 59 years old. My son is 6. If I'm lucky, very lucky, I'll have 12 more years before he leaves for college and starts his own life. 12 years, 144 months, about 4,380 days. I missed the first 6 years. I don't plan to miss any more. Please, stop. Look around. Who's waiting for you? Who's trying to get your attention? Who's learning to stop asking because you're always too busy? Don't wait until they're gone to realize they were there. Don't wait until your house is empty to hear all the noise you missed. Don't wait until you're 59 to start living. I did. And I can tell you that starting late is still better than never. But better yet is to start right now. Your family doesn't need your success. They need your presence. And unlike success, presence can't be achieved later. It only exists now. So put the phone down, close the laptop, sit down at the dinner table. Look at the people you love and let them see that they're the most important thing in the room, because they are. And one day, when everything else is gone, they're all that will matter. I know that now. I just wish I'd known it sooner.
Look at the people you love and let them see that they're the most important thing in the room, because they are. And one day, when everything else is gone, they're all that will matter. I know that now. I just wish I'd known it sooner.